You know the story. A garden, a man, a woman, a serpent, the fall. But there were others. Names erased. Stories untold. Daughters. Daughters of Adam and Eve. Born into silence. Forgotten by time. Today, we uncover the voices of Eden that religion left behind. Genesis names the sons. Cain, Abel, and Seth. But the daughters? Hidden in shadows. Yet Genesis 5 verse 4 says, "And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters." Who were these daughters? Why weren't their names written down? What were they meant to be? Was it intentional? A divine oversight? Or a deliberate omission? If Cain and Seth married, whom did they marry? The answer? Their sisters. The daughters of Eve. In early humanity, there were no kingdoms, no cities, only bloodlines, purity of seed, preservation of lineage. The daughters were not just wives, they were foundations, mothers of tribes, bearers of nations. Their silence may be our blindness. Some ancient texts speak of a woman before Eve, Lilith, not a daughter, but a rebel, a feminine force that defied Adam, fled Eden, and became demonized. Why was she erased? Did her story threaten the hierarchy? Or was she the symbol of feminine power the world tried to bury? The forgotten daughters may have carried Lilith's echo. So, spiritual, undeniable. The Book of Jubilees tells us their names. Aklia, Azura, Lebuda, sisters, daughters, wives of the sons. These names were known to early Hebrew scholars. But why were these books removed from the canon? Who decided what stayed and what vanished? The daughters weren't lost. They were edited out. In patriarchal traditions, women were often written through the lens of men. Eve was blamed. Sarah followed. Mary was sanctified. But the daughters of Adam, they lived, bore children, tended land, passed on wisdom. Perhaps their silence was strength. Perhaps their legacy is in our DNA. They were the first mothers, the root of womanhood. Without them, there is no us. Azura, Aklia, Naaman, Lebuda, names not found in your pews or children's Bibles, but in old scrolls and ancient lore. These women birthed generations, kings and prophets, priests and poets. They were hidden not because they were unimportant, but because they were powerful. To name something is to acknowledge it. To silence it is to control it. The serpent didn't just go after Adam. He targeted Eve's womb. The promise of seed. The war was generational. And the daughters? They carried both the pain and the promise. Their suffering birthed nations. Their silence kept prophecies alive. They were not just vessels. They were warriors. You know of Cain, of Abel, of Seth. But now you know of Azura, of Aklia, of the others. They were not forgotten by God, only by man. And now, not anymore. Because every hidden name will one day rise. And when they rise, they won't come whispering. They will thunder with truth. Their stories, interwoven in our genes, will be heard. In every woman who refuses to be silenced. In every daughter who questions what was omitted. For Eden did not birth only one kind of power. It birthed a balance. And that balance is returning. The daughters are awakening. And the silence is breaking. But with awakening comes memory. And memory, true memory, can shake kingdoms. For centuries, power has feared remembrance. Because to remember the daughters of Eden is to question everything that came after. What roles did they truly play? Were they prophets? Healers? Priestesses of early man? The ruins of early civilization hold no silence, only erased voices. And in that soil, their wisdom sleeps. They taught by the fire. They guided through childbirth. They interpreted the dreams of the first men. They were not absent. They were present in ways history could not control. Their arts were not stone tablets, but sacred songs passed through wombs. Their temples were not built by hands, but carried in hearts. And now the earth groans for what was lost. The world is full of systems, economic, religious, digital. But beneath them all is the feminine foundation. Aklia is no longer just a name. Azura is no longer just a whisper. They are awakening in every woman who rises with intuition, in every voice that cracks centuries of silence. This story is not just about the past. It is prophecy in motion, because the garden was not just lost. It was scattered, and the daughters are gathering the pieces. Eden will not be restored by thrones or titles. It will be remembered through the eyes of the daughters, and reborn through their fire. So when you hear the thunder again, know that it is not judgment, it is justice. And justice is finally speaking in a woman's voice.